Hello beautiful people, in this video I'll be showing you how you can integrate the new Webhook system into your Paychant API. So what is a Webhook? We actually use Webhook to get automated response when something happens on our Paychant merchant account. So the first thing we're going to do is to visit the documentation and see how things really work. So here Paychant was able to explain how the Webhook works, and here was able to give us some example code. We are going to follow this accordingly to integrate the Webhook system into our current API. On the last video, I was able to show how to implement the Paychant standard method on a PHP program. So if you actually watch the last video, you should be able to have this source code around with you. I'm gonna continue from that section because this is what this code we actually wrote the last video, and here is our website. So there is our website. We are able to implement the Paychant standard payment gateway into our website using PHP. So in this video, I'll be injecting Webhook to automatically get messages and whenever anything happens on our Paychant merchant account. So let's kick this off by first going to our source codes. So here I'm connected to my FTP account, and here is my source code is. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new file called webhook.php. So I'm gonna create a new file. I name this file webhook.php, if I get that correctly. Okay, so I hit on OK, and it actually create this file for me. Alright, it's creating the webhook.php. Okay, right here. So the next thing I will do is to visit the Paychant documentation page and actually grab these codes. I've clicked on the copy button, then I came into my source code and I paste it right here. Perfect. So after this, let's actually point this our webhook file into our Paychant webhook. So you visit your Paychant account under settings, then you ask you to go to webhook. Okay. When you get on Webhook, then you create a new webhook if you don't have any. Make sure this webhook URL actually points to this file you actually created. On my hand, that will be trypaychant.zubdev.net/webhook.php. Okay, so https trypaychant.zubdev.net/webhook.php. all right, so it says webhook type, and in this process we are using API. So we're actually using the API. Then you make sure you copy this code before you hit save. So I copy this code, then I click on save changes. All right, here we go. Our webhook is now created. The next thing is to inject the webhook secret code into our source code. So if you follow this Paychant example codes, it says right here that they define webhook secret key. So just gently paste in your key right here and leave the rest for Paychant. Once you paste your key right here, make sure you save the changes. After you save the changes, then everything should be good. Now we are working with something that is not visible. It is something that will be automated happen that will be handled by Paychant. How do we know that the Paychant is actually calling this actual URL that we paste here? For this demo preferences, we are going to make some tweaks in this code below by actually dumping the response we are getting from Paychant into a file and write it into our directory right here. So this is what I will be doing here to make sure I'm getting something out from this process. We are going to dump these event handlers into a HTML file. We make our PHP write HTML file so that we can try to see what is happening. So on this process, we are going to write a simple PHP code right here. I'm gonna call it write a callback HTML file. So how do we do this? We use the PHP built-in file system. Firstly, I define a content variable. For the start, I set it to empty. Okay, no, sorry, it should be content. It should be content. So first, I set it as an empty. The next thing is called, I declare a variable called fp is equals to, all right. Then f open. It should be f open. Okay. That will f open. All right. We're gonna declare the file name. So variable super global server. All right. Then the document root. So we are declaring the document root. Now it should be in uppercase. So document root. All right. So my PHP storm is actually completed that for me. Then I hit enter. Then after we declare document root, we have to declare the file name. Concatenate. Oh, it's gonna be slash. What is the file name we want to generate? We want to generate a file name callback.ph no sorry .html. Correct. So the next argument, we want to generate the type of the file we're gonna write, and the type should be WP. Okay, so this should write a sample a callback HTML file into our document root, where we can actually see what Paychant is sending to us as a response of the webhook. The webhook is BB event, so it's gonna decode this input that is coming from PHP input. Then the next thing we have to do is to write it into a file named callback.html and actually view it on a blank page where we can actually make use of it and do anything we want to do with it. So on the next thing, to finish this writing this file, we're gonna use the fwrite PHP function. So we're gonna write the fwrite and write the, what are we writing? We're writing the fp that we declare up above. So my code is ready. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I have to make sure I dump these files into the HTML file. How do I do that? To make my things more pretty, I'm gonna use some pretty function right here. So I'm gonna say pretty. It's an HTML tag. So I close the pretty. Then I concatenate some functions right here. Then I'm gonna use the print r. So I use the print r, okay. Then I'm gonna use the, what am I printing? I'm printing the events that Paychant is actually sending to us. Then I'm gonna set the return type to true. I'm gonna set the return type to true. This should write the response that Paychant is sending to us into a file named callback.php. So the next thing is I'm gonna save this code and upload it into my server. Okay, the code is supposed to upload to my server. The next thing we have to do is to test it, just to make sure that when creating your webhook, you make sure you copy the secret code and let it point to the actual file you're working on. Here, my response is going into the webhook.php, which you can see right here that this file name is webhook.php. So let's run our code and let's give it a first test on my live server. So I'm gonna refresh. Oh, sorry, I have tried to refresh. So I'm gonna refresh. Then I will try to purchase this item. We have already made a standard Paychant integrating into this system before. You can get that in the last video I created about Paychant. So I'm gonna select the $0. Then so after you can, once you click on the $0, there is an event that has been called. Let's go back to our source code and let's properly refresh our document root. Let's see if we can get something. Okay, right here you can see something called callback.php. If you grab that open, you should see something inside. Okay, it's not definitely writing anything. That means something is going on. Let's check on our codes. Okay. right? So it's should write, then it's over the document root, should write the, you say go right. Actually, there's a mistake right here. We don't specify what we are writing. That is something away some. We don't specify what we are writing right here, so there's a mistake. After we write the file, we should write in the contents. Now that should be perfect. I'm gonna receive the code. Okay, I received the code. Then I'm going to try to delete this file again, just for example. I can leave it, but I can also delete it. Let's delete that. Actually, let's leave it and let's see it in our web browser. So I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna call the callback Paychant slash callback.html. Should be a blank. It should return. Now you can see it's blank. Okay. Let's cancel this payment request. So let's cancel it. Once you cancel it, there's also an event with cancel. Let's go back to our file and let's refresh this page. What do you get? You can see there's an event. Paychant has already sent into our server, and we have write into a file. The event is our cancel. Can you see that? If you actually visit the code system, you try to reopen the file from the server. So I'm gonna reopen this file, and you can see that it was easily right in here. That's Paychant was sending some response, automated response to our webhook file. Let's try to create a new payment order. So I'm gonna try to purchase this item again. All right. I'm gonna use $0. Once you click on $0, there's an event. This should change from cancel to open. That means there's a payment also that is pending. It should change to pending. I will try to refresh this file right here, and you can see it's pending. So there is a response. We send the automated response once a customer cancel this payment. This is another event. So if you try to refresh this page right here, it should be cancelled. That means there is an event. It has been cancelled. If you want to find out more, you can check on the Paychant documentation, and they list all type of errors or the event you'll be getting. From here, we have failed, we have cancelled. Okay, we have cancelled. Then we have pending. Then we have another system called new. All right. Then we have payment new etc. So we have many events right here. This is what we are getting right here. So this is the easiest way you can actually make use of the Paychant webhook to automatically get response from Paychant API. So let's actually process by making a payment complete, and let's see how our event will look like. All right, I try to purchase this item. There's no event here. This event should be new. Let's see that. Let's actually refresh our webhook. Okay, it's not, there's no, it looks like there's no event for a module open, but let's click on $0 and this should be pending. Okay, let's take a look at it. We can see pending. Now I'm gonna purchase this item, so I will pay with my $0 wallet. I'm gonna try to process it with my phone. Okay, I will purchase this item to make sure. Let's see if the payment can be successful. Okay, trying to scan the QR code. Right, it's processing the payment right here. Come on. All right. Okay, so I try to pay. Okay, all right, it's confirming the payment. Okay, so you can see that the payment was received and the module will take some 5 seconds to redirect to our success page. Okay, after 5 seconds it was able to redirect to our success page. Let's check our webhook. I'm gonna try to refresh this page and you can see that the payment was changed to paid. So this is the easiest way you can actually monitor and track the Paychant event. Why do we need this? We can need this to update the database. So once the payment is pending, we update the database status and change it to pending. So once the payment is complete, we update the status and change it to complete, then give item to the actual user. Let's take this a little bit further because let's take it a little bit further. We need to decode. And if you are an expert PHP, you should be able to know how to decode and extract all these items one after the other. I'm gonna take a first example and actually extract this event. Then later you can go ahead and extract these data, then grab all this information one after the other and use it to work with your database on your backend. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make use of this event. After this event is being decoded, so I will try to grab this payment status, which is complete. This title we say the cucumber. Then this is the token. Let's say actually let's grab the status, which actually stand for the status of the payment. So I'm gonna be grabbing the event. Okay, I will now say variable event text is equals to variable event arrow event. So this will give us the event status. From here, then I'll be logging this event into my callback.html. Okay, so instead of me logging this event, I will try to log in this variable event text. So I save my code, then I upload to the server. Okay, it's trying to upload the code. Now the code has been uploaded, and now let's purchase this item again. Okay, let's actually purchase this item again, because if you refresh, yeah, there's nothing happened yet. The payment is still set as a previous payment status. So I'm gonna be trying by purchasing this cucumber. Let's purchase this carrot. Okay, I'm gonna choose $0. So let's see what the status we are getting like here. Oh, what can you see? It says right here that the API payment is pending. As you can see, we have extracted the callback one after the other. You can actually try to callback one after the other using the object tag. So let's continue by making payment for this. I'm gonna pay for this item on my wallet right here. Just a moment. Okay. It's confirming the payment. Alright. It's gonna be for this. It's confirming the payment. This is the key payment sent on my end. It's waiting for Paychant to complete the payment. Yeah. And the payment has been successful. Let's see what our callback will look like. Oh, perfect. It says payment has been paid. So this is the easiest way to actually track the webhook. It's very useful because in case some payment went wrong, you have to make sure the customer actually pay for this item before you give the item to the user, or you send email to the user that the payment has been received, something like that. This is why webhook is a very useful tool for us to make sure we actually get the payment from the customer before we give item. So if you are wondering how to make use of this previous code we wrote right here, I created a video how to integrate Paychant inline and a standard in each. They have each video for each other. So thank you very much for watching this video and have a great day ahead.